famous Japanese Christian said, evangelism is to encounter those whom God has chosen. Stephan, we have encountered many people during the past 15 years.
Yes, we have, and it's been 50 years since Mission Japan sent first missionaries to Japan. And we just like to share about God's faithfulness in Japan and in our lives. The Christian faith is growing in the global south, especially among evangelical and Pentecostal church groups. There are enough Bibles and an overflow of media available to bring the gospel to people's attention. Nevertheless, we experience the mystery of Japan, which still only has about 1% Christian population.
Some people think that a highly advanced society such as Japan, in a hyper-connected world, can be reached through technology, but I believe we had to come here in person.
At the start, we felt like infants because of the very difficult language. We experienced the extremely civilized Japan with its rich and ancient culture, which forced us and still forces us to give up any ideas of our own strength. This culture humbles and teaches us to lay down our Western superiority, coming from South Africa with its long church history. Because God has always used only broken people, weak people. The gospel of Christ has always been one of opposites, in which the weak become useful, the unlikely chosen.
Churches in Japan closely reflect the early churches of the first centuries. They are small, with no political power, and a majority of women. Choosing the triune God in Japan is so countercultural that it is literally a life-changing commitment. Various events in the past few decades have caused Japanese to be extremely skeptical towards organized religion and to Christianity in particular. Many Japanese churches are battling to thrive in a super-aging society whose structures promote a sense of loneliness. The fast-paced society often leads to a lack of belonging and deeper connection. God is transforming us through our Japanese brothers and sisters. We are learning how countercultural Christians should be, and that the gospel of Christ calls us to radical obedience in word and deed. We are called to be bridge builders between South Africa and Japan for various reasons. Our bridge building role gives us the opportunity to speak life-giving but sometimes uncomfortable biblical truths to one another, to mutually encourage and learn from one another. We share the same language of faith. We are indeed one body. Therefore, we also work together in various diaconal projects to show the love of God in practical ways in Japan and in South Africa.
We as foreigners can help build bridges for Japanese to come into churches and to talk to Christians.
In non-threatening ways, through opening our house, through friendships, English lessons, Christmas, Easter events, and much more. These bridges also extend towards Japanese pastors who can continue to guide seekers. Millions of people in Japan have never once heard the gospel. They read about the historical figure of Jesus in their textbooks, but they don't know the Lord of the gospel. Many think the church is a Western idea, therefore not for them. But that is why the Church of Japan is so important, because it consists of mainly Japanese who have already accepted the profound message of the cross, a message that is very foreign to the Japanese ear and increasingly foreign to the modern Western ear. However, whether Jew or Greek, slave or free, woman or man, this gospel is for all. It is about the one lost sheep, and about the challenging truth that only Jesus is the way, the truth, the life.
This is the core message Mission Japan missionaries shared with our local partner, the Reformed Church in Japan, for more than a half a century. Through the RCJ, this witness has a global reach with missionary partners in Korea, Gambia, Cambodia, and Hungary. Locally in Japan, we've been involved mostly in the western half of the country. Through my work as lecturer at Kobe Reformed Theological Seminary, our involvement stretches all over Japan. I've had the opportunity to preach and or teach frequently at more than 100 different places over the past 15 years. And through these encounters, I've learned much more than I could teach or share. And one thing has become very clear. Sound theological training here at KRTS is at the front line of missionary work. So, how can you become involved? Maybe by praying, or by giving, or even coming here to Japan. In whatever way, let us thank the Lord for His faithfulness in building up His kingdom in South Africa, here in Japan, and to the ends of the earth.